Let's get started by constructing the walls of the diner. And we'll do the entrance in a little while. So I'm going to head to Illustrator, and I'm going to just open up my layers as you see here, my swatches and my color. I'm going to double click on the first layer and call it wall. And then what I want to do, I think, is create this piece up here, this rounded roof thing here. So I'm going to grab a rounded rectangle. And don't worry about the size you're drawing in. We can always scale it back. Top one I believe is blue. And I'm going to just copy this and paste in front. I'm going to move it down with the Shift key and the arrow key on my keyboard to move it down in greater increments. I'll make this one red. A little bit too bright, I think. I'm also going to get rid of, well, actually no, I'll keep the strokes on those. I'm going to move this down just a little bit more. And what I want to do is I want to take one of these guys and I want to fill it in with the bristle brush to get a really cool stroke. Let's go back to the picture. As you can see here, we have this nice wavy stroke in there. Give us a little bit of a metallic feeling. So let's go ahead and create a brand new brush. Alright, so I'm going to create a new brush. We will create a bristle brush. And I'm going to choose, let's see here, I think I will go for a flat, blunt one. And we'll see what we can get. With this guy selected, I will click on Draw Inside mode. I'm going to increase the color of the stroke to a very bright color, like let's go for a really bright pinkish or red color. And I'm going to try and see what this looks like. Alright, it looks kind of good actually. Don't be afraid to try again if you don't get the shape you're looking for. And I just want to get a distorted metallic feeling on this particular stroke. And I want to create a shadow one on the bottom. So I'm going to go back to this red color and I'll double click on the swatch and use the sliders to make it darker. I'm going to come back in here and make that one darker like so. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and go over it one more time. Draw Inside mode is such a nice thing because I can be as sloppy as I want. Now you guys know how to do that. Go ahead and do this one and we'll come back and talk about the walls next. So let's go ahead and create this piece next. Alright, so we have this rectangle that has a pattern in there and these little blue bits. So I'm going to head back to Illustrator and I'm going to stay on the same layer. Okay, we're going to go and create a rectangular piece like so. And I'm going to turn off the Draw Inside. Let's go Draw Normal for now. And this is a gradient in here. So for now, let's just go ahead and put in the default gradient. We'll change it later. Alright, so we're going to just go ahead and give this guy a color. Select it. Okay, I don't think I actually drew anything there, so let me try that again. There we go. So we're going to put a default gradient in there just to hold our place. And we're going to add these blue rectangles on top of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the rectangle tool and we're going to just draw two thin rectangles with the fill of just blue, like so. And don't forget, you can copy this one and you can paste it in front or back and just use your arrow keys and the Shift key to nudge it down into position. Okay, so far so good. Don't forget, we're going to come back to this gradient later and really hook it up. Now let's go back to our picture. Now we need to add a red band and start to build in the panes for the window, which are also made of metal. So I'm going to head back and create one of these. I'll just go ahead and paste the same exact blue one we just created and nudge it down with the Shift key and the arrow. And I'm going to color this one red. Then I'm going to take my gradient and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste in front and I'm going to rotate that one, holding down the Shift key to get a constrained 45-degree angle. And I'm going to start to put this into position for the beginnings of those window panes. Don't forget, we're going to just do simple first and we will come back and jazz it up later with the fancy gradient. So as you can see, we have one, two pieces and one in the middle. But we're just going to make one thick one and put a red thin one in the middle. So we're going to take this band here and we'll make it thicker. We're going to grab this red piece, we're going to copy it, we're going to paste it, And we're going to rotate this guy holding down the shift key to constrain it. And we're going to simply scale it down. And sometimes it's hard to grab a thin piece like this and scale it down without rotating it. I'm going to put it in position like so. And there we go. Now, since this repeats a couple times, just go ahead and grab all that and press Command or Control G to group it. And then we're going to edit, copy, edit, paste in front, and use our Shift and our arrows on the right to move it over. Or we can simply hold down the Alt or Option key in conjunction with Shift and duplicate like so. So what we do is grab it and move it, okay, like this. And now all we have to do is eyeball it and kind of nudge these pieces so we have spaces that are even in between. Okay, so far so good. I think these windows are a little long, so I'm going to Shift select all of them and resize them like so. Or you can drag select like this and scale them up. Go back to your sketch and just make sure everything looks good. And we need a piece of metal on the bottom and one on the top. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. Don't forget we can grab this piece of gradient, copy, and we could paste in front, nudge it down, and you can go ahead and simply scale this down like so, and then you can copy and paste that one and put it right here. So we will continue this wall in the next part.